Hello, I'm Robbie Jenkins, and I'm the Athletic Administrator at Seymour R2 Schools. I'd like to thank everyone coming to the meeting tonight. We're hoping to cover some risk and some procedures that we use here at Seymour R2 in case we have something that happens to one of your student athletes. Things that we'll talk about tonight are facilities and how they're inspected, different things that we look for to keep anything harmful from happening. Our equipment and how our coaches go about looking at equipment, getting new equipment, etc. Proper instruction, techniques for how things are being taught, supervision and how we expect our coaches to supervise our athletes at all times. A little bit about injuries and how we might help treat injuries, and then the last thing is concussion and what our protocol here is at Seymour Schools. First thing is a risk is a possibility of loss or injury, or it could be someone or something that creates or suggests a hazard. So risks are involved in sports, and we understand that, and we just have to be aware of different ways to cut down those possibilities. For our facilities, we inspect our facilities each year. Myself as the athletic administrator, the administration, and our head maintenance of schools, we go around our facilities and make sure that nothing harmful is out there or something that could cause harm to somebody in our outdoor facilities or in our indoor facilities. So some of the things that we look for also is our fire exits are well lit, that our fire extinguishers work, appropriate padding is in place so that somebody doesn't hit a wall, or padding in front of our dugouts so that if somebody goes over to catch a fly ball, that's padded and no harm's going to come to that player. We make sure that everyone is abiding by the policies for the playing field facilities. Make sure our bleachers, our railings are all intact and no harm can come to anybody there. Coaches will inspect each facility before student athletes show up, and if something will need to be fixed, they will note that and turn that into our head of maintenance. If our outside facilities are wet and we feel that we cannot play at our facility, we might move our game to an alternative facility so that we can go ahead and get that contest in. Coaches also need to make sure, and will make sure, that everyone understands facility safety issues. We have proper emergency equipment. Our med kits are all filled and have the proper equipment in those, and also they will know the evacuation routes in case something happens and where to go. We have environmental issues that we are aware of, and our administration will be checking those different things. We have things like lightning, wind, tornadoes, rain, etc. When it comes to heat, excessive heat, coaches must follow the heat acclimation requirements that MSHA has for each outdoor sport. This policy can be found on the MSHA website. You can look that up if you would want to. We also we monitor the heat index, and we go off of the official heat index that will be used by the National Weather Service for the website for Seymour. If it's too hot outside, we make sure that we supply enough water for our athletes. We give them more breaks, and we can monitor, or we can let them change their practice uniforms and go from maybe pants into shorts. Safety of our spectators, coaches, school personnel, and all individuals that might come to the event is very important to us. Our administration and staff would be monitoring for any type of weather issues that might come along. We want to make sure that our athletes are safe and out of way during storms. As far as equipment goes, our coaches take inventory each year of the equipment. We get rid of equipment that's not needed, might be broke or might cause harm to someone. We make sure that all our equipment used meets the standards that are required by the NFHS as well as the Missouri State High School Activities Association. Our equipment is also We meets all manufacturers' recommendations. Our baseball helmets would have the official stamp on it to make sure they are qualified to use. If they're broke or damaged, we get rid of them. Each program will have a list of items that they might need their athletes to purchase in order to play in the activity or be in the activity safely. Example of that would be shoes. Coaches might ask kids to wear a certain type of shoe for safety reasons. Proper instruction. We want our staff to stress that proper technique is important. We want them to teach the proper technique to our athletes. We want to teach skills in a progressive format. We're going to teach from the basic skills up to a higher type of activity, and those athletes can progress as they show and can perform each individual task. We also encourage our coaches to match our players up according to their ability. We don't want a senior that's going to participate against a freshman who may not be physically ready to go up against that more mature athlete. Safety is important, and we want to explain hazards in each activity and specific safety skills and equipment that is required in that activity. As far as supervision goes, coaches have the duty to provide supervision for all athletes. No individual student, team, or program will be able to participate if there's not a supervisor that represents our school, either faculty or the administration staff there. We will not participate in any activities. These activities include practice, meetings, performances, contests, and transportation. As far as transportation goes, we supply transportation to and from games. Athletes can travel home with their parents as long as there's written permission for the coach. There's a form that he will have, and they will sign that form. In order for an athlete to ride home with anyone other than the coach, a parent would have to give prior permission, and that is through a note or a call home or a call to the office and personally talk to the administration. Things that we do not tolerate in our programs that can be considered risk or turn into something that can harm someone or be a hazard. This is hazing, harassment of other athletes, horseplay in the locker rooms, out on the ball fields, softball fields, playing fields, practice fields, or in the gymnasium. Those are just things that we can't tolerate. They do happen sometimes, but with our coaches supervising, hopefully we keep that to a minimum. Some of the forms that athletes would have to turn in, they have to have their physical forms turned in each year and will not be allowed to participate if these forms are not turned in. We use the district athletic physical form we use is the MISHA form, and I will supply that. It's in the athletic administration office. We also give free physicals here at the school, so the athletes will be given that. The parents will fill it out. They'll bring it back and be given their physical. A parent permission slip is also included in those forms, and they will have to be signed by the parent before the athlete can participate. These forms will be kept in the athletic administration office, and the physical forms, a copy will be given to the coaching staff, and they will carry it along with them for any activities. Insurance also has to be supplied before they can participate in any extracurricular activities. If there's not a private policy for these athletes, then they can purchase an accidental insurance plan through the school, and we'll get them the information for that. Treatment of injuries. Our coaches are certified in CPR and first aid. This is a requirement through MISHA, and we supply them the opportunity to get certified for that, and they can treat minor injuries or perform CPR if needed. Coaches are required to fill out an accident report for any injuries and all injuries that happen, and it's important that your athlete tells the coaches that something has happened. Those forms are filled out and turned into myself, the athletic administration office, and I will also give one of those to the building supervisor. We do not have an athletic trainer on staff, so it's important that your athletes communicate with their coaching staffs and let them know if anything is going on. One thing that we do need to discuss is concussion in our protocol. if we suspect that a athlete has had a concussion or shows symptoms of a concussion, they're going to be removed from activity immediately. They're not going to be allowed to practice or play for at least 24 hours, and they cannot play until released by or cleared by a physician. We take concussions pretty serious here. You know, we look for the signs of headaches, nausea, vomiting, slurred speech, appearing dazed, fatigue. If we see those things, we're gonna take the athlete out of the activity, and then ask the parents to get medical help. That concludes our program for tonight. I hope that we've covered some risks and some things that we look for and what our procedures are when things do arise. Thank you.